Good morning and welcome to Inner Harmony Life Coaching. So today I want to talk about routines and establishing routines and order in your home. Now, if you are a woman with ADHD and you have recently been diagnosed, or if you haven't been diagnosed but life feels chaotic, has been chaotic, and you feel like a complete failure, like you just can't break out of it, and you feel like it's all your fault, and people have told you you're lazy, and no matter what you do, no matter what you try, you can't get it together. If that is you, then I want to encourage you to stop, take a breath, stop blaming you, and hear me out. I was in your shoes almost 5 years ago. In 2020, after I turned 40 and after dealing with COVID, personally myself, and coming out of that, I was watching TV, which is something I don't really do anymore anyway, and Mel Robbins was on, and that's when I discovered that I probably had ADHD. And so there was a book she recommended. I don't have it anymore. Reading it was like looking at a mirror at my childhood, and it honestly made me feel worse. It just made me feel like a failure. And so maybe you can relate. Maybe that's how your life feels, like you just can't get it together. So I'm making this video in this channel in hopes of reaching people just like yourself, where I was once at, where I was and how I felt. I'm trying to give what I wish would have been available to me when I first discovered my ADHD. So if this is you, and you also came from a dysfunctional family, you're not alone. I did too. I love my family. I forgive everybody. But I didn't get what I needed growing up. I'm not blaming my parents. We're not going to touch that story. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole. We're not going to change that rabbit. We're going to stay here. We're going to talk about how do we get better? How do we move forward? So if by chance you have PTSD from the past, something happening, from unhealed trauma, or you have complex PTSD, then you're not going to be able to take pharmaceutical medicines. This is what I discovered, and I had to talk about this with my own doctor back in 2020. I did call and talk to her because at that time they were still doing over the phone appointments. And when she and I first started talking, which I did put in a video, so if you want to go look that up, you're more than welcome to, about what is ADHD and how does it affect undiagnosed women, I believe. It's like the second video that I put up. Anyhow, so I want to talk about order and routine and how to establish that and what does that look like. Now, before I get into that part of it, I want to talk about if you're dealing with depression or severe anxiety. I've been there. I want you to go look for a good counselor. I highly, highly, highly recommend a biblical counselor because of my own faith in God, the Bible, and Jesus Christ. That is how I got through what I had to get through. My counselor was a biblical counselor and still is, but I graduated off the counselor, or off the calendar. I saw her for 18 months. There's no shame in that. There's no shame in needing help. There's no shame in asking for help. So I encourage you to go get that. I encourage you to go talk to somebody and allow someone to walk beside you. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. So here's where I was at. I was in such a place that anything red or orange staring at me made me feel like a failure color-wise. So I couldn't use reminders that had that. I needed calming colors such as aqua greens and blues. So if that is you, if that's where you find yourself, that's your sign you need to talk to somebody, okay? I encourage that. So I'm gonna move further into why I'm making the rest of this video, for where I am today, and hopefully you aren't a complete stressed out mess dealing with super bad anxiety and depressed. If you are, I'm so sorry. I'm not a counselor. I am a certified life coach specializing in ADHD management. I'm not a counselor, so I cannot counsel you. So I encourage you to go get help. Okay, so moving on. When I first started in biblical counseling, my counselor gave me an acronym for order, and this really, really helped me. So I'm sharing this because I feel like it's super, super important, and it's gonna help kind of go along with what I found on Google when I just Googled it. So O is for organize, R is for routine, D is for delegate, E is for execute, and R is for rest. I don't know about you, but I still struggle with rest. I still struggle with that. Maybe you can relate. I know that some women I've talked to that have ADHD, they struggle with rest. Brain is always on the go. So if you are looking for help with that and what to take supplement-wise, I have a video about that. I think it's the third one I posted. Okay, so moving on. So this is what the AI overview says about how to establish routines with ADHD as a woman, because it's especially hard, especially if you become a mom, because not only do you have to keep yourself in order, you have to keep these children in order. How do you do that? You feel completely like lost behind the ball. I understand. I've been there. I'm a mom of 2 boys. So this is what AI says. Focus on creating simple, structured daily plans with clear boundaries. I'm gonna stop there. If you came from a dysfunctional house, you may not know what boundaries are, or healthy boundaries, and how to establish those, and what do those look like. So Dr. Henry Cloud has got some amazing books on that. I highly recommend those. Hey, going back, incorporating visual reminders, breaking tasks into manageable chunks, prioritizing self-care, and utilizing tools like calendars and timers to stay on track, while adapting the routine to your specific needs and energy levels throughout the day. Okay, so I'm gonna back up a bit to breaking stuff up into manageable chunks. So this was hard for me, because I'm the type of person, I just want to knock it out, get it done, knock it out. But what if your house is a complete and total disaster and you've got stuff sitting everywhere? How do you just knock that out? Especially if you're tired and you already feel like you can't do it. You know, so this is where I would say set a 5-minute timer. I know it doesn't sound like much, but believe me, it's going to be so helpful for you. No, you're not going to get it all done in 5 minutes. I just want to put that out there. It's not going to happen. But what it's going to do is help encourage you. It's going to get you going, get you moving. That's what it's going to do. And prioritizing self-care. That's a hard one. I'm still working on that myself. There's a really good book. Oh, goodness gracious. I can't think of her name. I will try to link it down the bottom. But she talks about self-care. And I highly encourage that book. And at the moment, I'm drawing a blank on the name. So please look down in the description, because I'll put it there. And if I don't, holler at me. And utilizing tools like calendars and timers to stay on track. Now, here's where I'm going to say, not everybody with ADHD is able to use calendars and timers. Timers, it's easier I have found personally it's easier to incorporate a timer in. Calendars, that one's more of a gray area. I still struggle with that, if I'm being honest. I will share what I do that does help. While adapting while adapting the routine to your specific needs, energy level throughout the day. I take a lot of rest because there's times I need to, because I'm the type of person that I will just go, and then I pay for it the next day. Maybe you can relate. Start a small, so it says key strategy, start small and prioritize. I can't encourage that enough. 5 minutes. Maybe you need to do less, but 5 minutes. Start somewhere, just start. Don't overthink it. I know it's super easy to do. I'm very guilty of that. Visual aids and reminders. Yes. So I can't show it. Well, actually I can. Hold on a second. Now this is off my own personal device, and I'll do it the best I can. Sorry. I don't usually use it on my iPad. I use it on my phone. So finding it is going to be a little bit more tricky. But if there's a reminders app built into Apple devices. So I don't know if you can see that. Yes. So bring that up. Now on my phone, I have it in dark mode, which is what I typically use. So this is my iPad. I need to put it in dark mode. That's my favorite. But that kind of gives you an idea of how I'm using it. The thing I would love to see Apple change is allow you to change the colors of the reminders and not the, and allow to be able to select different colors for the flags. But other than that, it's really awesome. My favorite part right now is that it's free. We're budgeting, so like the less money I can have to spend. Okay, so back what I was saying. Sorry about that. As far as reminders app go, I love the fact that it's free. It's for us, or for me, 95% of what I need. So I'm gonna go back to what my biblical counselor had taught me about the acronym of organizing. You got to get yourself organized and take care of you before you can help your family take care of kids. I know that sounds terrible, but it's true. Routine. Getting that routine established. I'm still working on that. Let me just be honest. Okay. I'm still working on helping my family get organized. That is something I was not taught. I'm not trying to beat up on my mom, but I wasn't. And delegating. And what does that look like? Yeah, I'm still working on that. And executing. I can get me going, but still working on trying to help get my family going. And rest. Yep, I'm still working on that. So back up to routine and organizing. In the morning, I've done pretty good. I get up, and if I can help my husband with our son, I do. And then I will make my lemon water in the morning, so I will get the kettle going and chop up my lemon so I can squeeze it into my water, and then I add just the itty bitty bit of, it used to be pink Himalayan sea salt. I'm drawing a blank of the salt. I'll try to link it in the bottom. It's a good salt, but Dr. Barbara O'Neill talks about it. And at the moment, I am drawing a blank of what it's called, but it's not regular iodized salt. That stuff's garbage. And then I put a slice of ginger in there, and that's what I drink in the morning, and it really, really helps. And then my not so good habit of coffee, which I just made this short for that today, and I think it will post tomorrow at 8 a.m. of what I put in my coffee. I drink it black. I put in unflavored collagen peptides. That's my husband says that it's grass-fed beef, and I could have swore at one point I remember seeing grass-fed on it, but this morning when I read the container to put that information on YouTube, I could not find it, but I found non-GMO, which is super important because you don't want Roundup in your stuff. I believe it's because of Roundup's got glycinate in it. Anyhow, so coming back, I also put organic cacao which is like super dark chocolate. It's really good for you. There's so many health benefits. And I'm now 45, going on 46, so I especially need that. And I am discovering that there's probably a lot of undiagnosed women my age, or underdiagnosed women my age, and then undiagnosed women older than me. And so this is why I make these videos, to help reach those who don't know. I was there 5 years ago discovering that I had ADHD, and I no longer realized I didn't have to feel guilty for feeling constantly behind and everything else that I was suffering. That if you go to Google undiagnosed ADHD in women, yeah, I dealt with it. It actually almost cost me a job before I ended up just quitting. You know, it's can make a relationship, makes life hard. You feel like you're constantly behind. So if that's you, I just want you to know, like, it doesn't have to be that way. There's things that you can put in place to help you. One of those things, which I used to actually be a health and fitness coach. I'm no longer doing that. That's a whole other video if y'all want to know about that. So I did discover while doing that just how working out really benefited me and helped me big time. So that, I just kind of want to drop that in there and make you aware of that. So if you're taking care of yourself and you're working out, awesome. If you're not, don't beat yourself up. I haven't looked on YouTube myself. I've heard. No, because we have a online gym that we pay for yearly, and so I just get in there and they've got a bunch of 5-minute workouts. So I would start off small and build yourself up, but I believe YouTube's got a bunch of free stuff on there, so that's what I would recommend. If you want to know more about my online gym, let me know in the comments and I will share that information with you. I hope you all have a great day. I hope I was able to help.